blood of the slain will never be in vain. Never. No. We don't want to see no more people dying. Zion Yahweh. Whoa. Zion Yahweh. Whoa. Zion Yahweh. Whoa, Zion Yahweh. Yo, listen, man. My name is Ja, beloved. You can call me Kwesi Baako when the occasion calls for it. You are watching iCulture TV. Keep it locked. iCulture TV, Africa, from an African perspective. Radio, culture, radio, culture. All right, we're live on Radio Culture. We're also live on iCulture TV, online radio, www.gnewsnow.com. That's our home base. But currently, we're also live on our social media platforms. We're live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube, and we're also live on TikTok. Thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Kwesi Baako, and I am here for the editorial. Please bear with me if you can. I'm going to go for a very short break. When I come back, show starts. Blood of the slain will never be in vain. Never. No. We don't want to see no more people dying. Zion Yahweh. Whoa. Zion Yahweh. Whoa. Zion Yahweh. Whoa. Zion Yahweh. Yo, listen, man. My name is Ja, beloved. You can call me Kwesi Baako when the occasion calls for it. You are watching iCulture TV. Keep it locked. iCulture TV, Africa, from an African perspective. iCulture TV, Africa, from an African perspective.
Radio culture. Radio culture.
Yes, Radio Culture. We're airborne right now. We're airborne TikTok. Yes, thank you very much for being patient, especially my crew on TikTok, because we have to play commercials and all of that on the other portals. And you are patient and you stay put for me. Much appreciated. All right, let's go. Let's do it this way. Captain Smart. I'm going to keep this thing very brief, very small, very sharp, very straight to the point. Also, I'm going to ride along with the nonsense that Captain Smart spoke about, which I think needs some attention to. Why? And I keep coming back to this dude. Why? And we don't have time to even, batter nobody right now. We're going straight. It's straight to brass tacks, bro. Like, listen. I am particularly concerned about this guy for three reasons. First reason, he has a very loud microphone. He works with what's the name? general, what they could call those people again? Media general, one of the biggest media entities in Ghana, right? So he reaches far. If he spews nonsense and nobody responds to it, it becomes kind of accepted because it's like, oh yeah, especially with our people, they'll be like, oh, Senka, or Boa and Kobi Bekase. Well, oh Boa and Bekase, if you know what I'm saying. Okay, number 2 reason why I'm coming back to this guy is because he's persistent and he's diabolic. I watch him and I see that he sets an agenda and he stays persistently on it. Why would someone do that? We will explore that. Because I think that, for instance, just conjecturing, okay? Just conjecturing. But if you have been paid to do something, then you have a motive to stay consistently on that matter, even if you are being redirected. That's another thing.
It's a brand new sound for radio.
It is a brand new sound for radio. It's not those type of media stations where, you know, all kinds of things happen. Media general, let me start by asking you, what's the thing here? Is your hits and likes and your sales and your numbers more important than your credibility? Just asking. I know Captain Smart is a loud microphone. He brings a lot of traction to your portal. I know that. There's no question about that. I used to listen to him a lot. And no, don't get me wrong. He is a fabulous guy. He does what he does. But I don't understand why he does some other things. And when he does that, we, the same people who like him when he does other things that we like, we're going to turn around and call him to judgment. Because why? Let's get to it. Facebook, YouTube, you can watch me. TikTok, you can hear me. But let's watch this video, okay, of something that he said recently, and I'm going to be reacting to it almost line by line because I find it ridiculous that somebody in that position that he is allowed to sit on national TV to spew such nonsense. And Captain Smart, when I finish, I'll tell you about what I have also heard, because everything you say is about something you have heard. And as you will also come on this portal, on this platform, and come and answer. Does that logic hold? You've said something about Raymond Archer, and you've said something about Tokujetua Blakwa and all these other people. You've stopped short of calling President Mahama a thief. You've stopped inches from calling President Mahama a thief. And we are going to be examining that. And if the logic is that when someone accuses you of something, it's your duty to appear on their platform to respond there, then you come and respond on this platform what I'm going to tell you at the end of this. Stay put, hold it. Let's watch this video. And I have to warn you, for those who have some common sense in their head, this is going to make your blood boil. This is going to make your head spin. This is most likely going to give you a headache. So grab a glass of water. This video is by courtesy Trends GH. Let's go.
Fabo trem fight. Sir, penny mu bi ache wo trase ka cho se busua penny die nyina ye sika. Na yentu ye bo wasene ye ne nka pepepe sa penny no e corrupt. Eti EOCO dan ka se si ho no, eye economic and organized a crime office. They themselves are organized in crime. Who fear no so na waba Attorney General so.
Stick a pin. Let's start with that. First of all, see penny bi ekache say osi den so bika say ebusa penny die nyina ye sika na yanto ye bo na ye ne nkan na tese nipa no ye kronfo. That is warped logic. That is very awkward logic. Because if ebusa penny, let's use your own scenario, Captain Smart. That's stupid. And pardon me, this guy called people all types of things. I am going to say all types of things. I'm going to just say how I feel. Because this guy is bent on this. And let me start by actually laying the principles right. Why am I doing this? I'm doing this because I want the wheels of justice to grind properly. President Mahama says the wheels of justice grind slowly, and this guy has a problem with that. We will examine all of that. But I am concerned because I think that what this guy is doing is muddying the waters. What this guy is doing is fighting the cases that are in court with public opinion. That's what he's doing. That's why he'll come and tell you that Edu Boahene has not committed any crime and he can prove it. How dare you? How dare you? Let's go on. But first of all, he says that the EOCO is a crime or whatever. You have to prove it all. This guy, why don't want to say, on Fahubise, and maybe he wants to be picked up by EOCO to divert attention, right? So that it becomes like, oh yeah, and whatever. So I think Raymond Archer is actually doing the right thing, but not even minding this guy's self. Don't mind himself. Have you guys ever heard the Attorney General talking about some journalists who are paid? I wish I had asked Newsroom to get me this piece before I came live. But Newsroom is sleeping. They're in Ghana right now. They're sleeping right now. So let me let them sleep. Let me handle the show. When they wake up, they will support with the rest of it. But yes, there's a video where the Attorney General was talking about some journalists and bloggers who have been paid to muddy the waters. Check that. You can find that on YouTube if you're interested in it. Go and search. Attorney General Aine says that some journalists and bloggers have been paid to muddy the waters. That's exactly what this guy is doing. That's exactly what Captain Smart is doing. Because every time he will come and try to say something that makes the investigating bodies look like they are not clean, be say, yeah, but you said, why are you doing this? Because you too, when it's whatever. Why? Why is this guy not interested in leaving EOCO alone to do their job? Why is he interested in running oral down to the ground? Why? Let's examine that. And like I said, if you stick with me to the end, I will tell you what I think. And if Captain Smart says I lie, come here and come and respond. The same way you are inviting Raymond Archer to come to your show, to come and respond. That logic, I believe, has been accepted. Let's move it.
Minji Attorney General Biandida. Na akwa we oye Bahama Attorney General. Akwa fa say. Dominica ni Minji Ndi Baako. On the Minji Ndi Attorney General bia.
There you go. On J Attorney General Ayine Ndikra. Won J Ayine Attorney General Ndikra based on what? But he's here, and because he has so many people who listen to him, who say something like that, and all of a sudden 100,000 Ghanaians who don't want to think, who want someone to do their thinking for them, will just hear that, and it's the gospel. Menji Attorney General Ndikra. Oh, Attorney General, where are Captain Smart, Kwesi on Jinindi? And you know why is that dangerous? Because I started by telling you that this guy is a great guy after all. I listen to him sometimes. He has some great stuff that he pulls up sometimes. So if you listen to him consistently like that, right? And then it gets to a point where he starts throwing nonsense like this in, there's a great chance that you get sucked in. And that's why I'm concerned. Unje Attorney General Ayine Ndi, based on what? Tell us. You saying, Captain Smart, who told us that you know how Gladys Asma died. You think we've forgotten these things? And you say nonsense like that and nobody calls you to order. So you just take it as whatever and just move along with it. If someone had called you to come and prove what you know about Gladys Asma's death and whoever else you were talking about with Owusu Bempah and all of these things, you would have been a smarter guy, I believe. But there's no accountability. Even Media General doesn't call you to account because of hits and likes and numbers. So they leave you to just go amok with nonsense. This guy doesn't come to air with notes. So I don't think he prepares for his show. I think he just comes and pulls it from where the sun don't shine. That's what I think. Let's listen to some more. And I promised you that you have a headache. So please pardon me for giving you a headache. It's not me. It's from the source. But this is the headache that we're trying to cure. And we will cure it. Let's move on.
John Dramani Mahama Kacha say, oh, oral, operation recover all loot. It is just oral. Me man, two ababa Mahama so on go more touch my home. It's the very first day of she was Mervyn Pick. It was not Mervyn Pick. Kempinski, right? Yes, it was Kempinski. Me kwaya me ko bisa ne kwasa no. Me mbisa ne kwasa. E ba so be bridge. Obeye kwan. Obesi school dan. Me bisa ne say,
okay, so that was one question that you asked. Other people had other concerns. Keep talking about. Because your concern was oral. Somebody else wanted their chrome coin to be made. Somebody else wanted water. I am an ardent supporter of oral. We all want Mahama to do what he has to do to get the people who stole the money in place. I mean, where they're supposed to be. But let's face it. Do you think this can be achieved by using non-judicial means, Captain Smart? Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Well, you do this and then people will give weed a bad name. Because people would say that, oh, I call it whatever. The other day, somebody was accusing you of, say, Oshiwi. We shooting a baby on count. But you're spewing nonsense like this. You asked about oral. Yes, we all agree that Mahama should get the people in. Oral, no, Captain Smart, a journalist of your repute. If you don't understand oral, let me break it down in very simple language for you. Oral was a platform to gather the cases, suspected cases of of misapplication of government funds, all types of corruption, right? That in itself is not proof that you can use to prosecute anybody, unless you're talking about some time ago where the army was in charge or whoever was in charge, and then you could just barge into somebody's house and pull them out for what? Because somebody came to tell you at oral that somebody has stolen money. What do you think? Are you crazy? Is that how a system should work? Captain Smart, let me educate you. If Mahama had taken that route, Ken Ofori-Atta would have been a free man by now. Jane. And yet they do. And yes, what about now radio now change now fife na ta go kon na na se we jai ta now the go kon no. And yet no na mad wo can hold you water. Think if Mahama had come and all of a sudden started barging into people's homes, pulling them based on oral cases or whatever else. Ken Ofori-Atta would have made a good case that he would be a political target. Right now, he has no case because that type of thing is not going on. All the people who are suspected of being corrupt and whatnot, they're being passed through a legal system, as should be. I agree. The wheels of justice must grind a little faster. Attorney General, we beg you. But let me ask you again, Mr. Journalist, Mike Kakraka, is it your thinking, is it your understanding that is the president's job to jail people? Is that your understanding as a journalist? As somebody who's supposed to break down the issues for the rest of us, as someone who the rest of the people have given you their thinking to do for them, is it your understanding that is the president's duty to jail people? And maybe you said that, so some people think so. So let's get that clear. The president is not responsible for that. The president said that when he comes, he's going to set the system in place to make sure that people who have committed those crimes and so on will be held accountable. That system has started. The last time I heard the government spokesperson talk, Felix Kwesi Baako, I heard him say that as many as 140 cases are being prosecuted. are being, filed and all of that. As many as 24 cases have been completed, dusted, ready for prosecution. Nana, upesenka 1 year, no, na kedi ababe swa 140 for nina, no money go jail. Not that will say what about the government and create what kind of distraction for the government. This government, yes, wants to do oral, wants to hold people accountable, but that's not the be all. That's one small thing which we all want to see happen. But this government also wants to do other things. There are jobs to be created for the youth. There are things that Akufo-Addo messed up that needs to be reversed. Education system, you see what kind of food the kids were eating? It's a whole reset going on. You don't start and just reset all of a sudden like that. And when you can forward saying, who's not paying him fear come? Yes, just own himself saying, yes, he in fit for coupe empower yes. TikTok, let me hear you. Fifi, please tweet this out for me. You in fit for coupe empower yes. For the international audience, you don't start all of a sudden to bleach your teeth. I don't even know what that means, really. I don't even know what if people were bleaching their teeth back in the day when our forefathers made this, adage. But yeah, you don't bleach your teeth out of like you just zip. It will skin off all your gums or whatever. So Captain Smart, think small. Unless you've been paid to do this, as we have been told by the Attorney General. I'll tell you more about that. TikTok, hold tight. Let's go. Let's hear more of this nonsense. I'm sorry to bring this nonsense to you people, but let's go.
President called Parliament. State of the Nation's address. I see the wheels of the law grind slowly. Masa.
You see, and that's what you don't understand, that the wheels of justice grind slowly. Any kind of wheels of justice ever grind it quickly. First of all, Mako looking like a tyrant, just like that Akufo-Addo that you brought to power and helped to go get cement to go build his national theater, which ended up as a fiasco. And then you ended up slightly sliding off like say won kahumpo and Ghana ye dine show. But instead of shutting the F up, you stood there talking blah 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 yaga. Shut up! Shut up, bro! Shut up! Because we were saving grace. They said some people saw how much work you did to oust Akufo-Addo back out of power. So we count you among the soldiers. But I think you're overrating yourself. Because you are also part of the people who brought us Akufo-Addo to start with. You are part of the people who donated cement to go build that fiasco national cathedral. Now, it's your now it's not to say you have the guts to come and sit and talk about it. No, who can who be? You are one of the enablers. You are one of the enablers. And it's the same way I believe that you came on your show shouting and screaming and busting veins to convince people that the National Theater was a good idea, National Cathedral was a good idea. Wherefore you actually went physically, carried cement to go there. And the same page, you have been able to backslide like say, you are one dangerous SOB, bro. Seriously. If Ghanaians don't watch this guy well and how he operates, he will lead us in all types of different directions. Let's go on, because I have a lot more to say.
Hey, Masa, slow down. You told the entire country you arrest Nanabi. Must it take you 1 year as a president? John, Obian Shawo, nobody pushed you. No, you were not forced. You were not under duress. You freely, out of personal evolution and conviction, you pronounced that Nanabi, anyone will come home, you bet you win. John, what do you have? What are you investigating about one single person? Are they on assassinating Prof. Samuels? Are they kum Prof. Samuels?
Swear.
And then Nabi ne kum Rollins.
And Kwesi Baako, your morning show. From where I'm from, which is Ghana. Yeah, Bano, in the days of Mike Egan, and in the days of Tommy and Forsen, that morning show, Yagdikanya Sasemo. Morning show is where you come and educate and elevate the people. Morning shows were reserved for high and elevated discourse. This is the kind of nonsense that we are consuming on morning shows. This is the bullshit we are consuming on morning shows now, in the names of hits and likes. Because he has the numbers. So Media General doesn't even care what he does or what he says. This is the kind of nonsense we have to put up with. This is morning show. This. Do you remember Komla Dumont? God rest his awesome soul, that brother. Do you remember Komla Dumont? Do you remember the content he brought? Do you remember how people like me, I used to wake up at dawn to listen to the first word he would say on radio, to his very first good morning on Joy FM. It was like a religion, bro. I'm not even playing. People like Komla Dumont is how come people like us find ourselves here. Because he inspired me so much. He inspired us so. I know him personally from Legon, right? With Dr. Ponwadie. He was Dr. Ponwadie's close friend. And I knew him through Dr. Ponwadie. But beyond that, he inspired me so much outside in that space where he operated. Do you remember what he brought? Let me even remind you of our very own Kojo Opon Krumah before he became a politician. Do you remember the depth of the quality of the discourse? Even with Kojo Opon Krumah before he became a politician. Maybe he was a politician those times, who knows? I don't know. But yes. Do you remember? And now we have to deal with nonsense like this as morning show. Let's continue.
Why did you say that? For an opposition leader to make that emphatic statement, it means that there is a document. There is something unsurmountable that can lead to the arrest of Nana B.
That could be the case. But does that mean that there's a time limit on that? This president has 4 years. He's chopped 1 year. If whatever he was talking about, and me personally, I don't want to say too much about that issue about Nana B being jailed. He knows what he did. If he'll be jailed, he'll be jailed. Me too. As far as I'm concerned, time has nothing to do with it. And let me tell you something, Captain Smart. National security is important too. If John Mahama was tactless and he came and just started arresting people here, can you imagine the state the country would be in? No, an agenda. Can you imagine how that would have affected his own bigger agenda? Think. So because of Nana B, Nana B may have said something wrong in Tino. Bahama catch us or no personally no. Or person will say Nana B has done something of that nature now. It's against the law. He is coming to make sure that people who have done things like that will be dealt with. So point it to the Attorney General. Now, the Attorney General is also telling you that they have all these cases lined up. Have you taken your time to investigate? There are 140 cases that are under investigation. And some are over radio, so TV, so I can't say the same with Captain Smart. Think. What is wrong with you, bro? Like, what is going on here? I believe because I know better in the outro. I want you to stay with me. I'll tell you what it is in the outro. Let's go.
NDC force through the fight against corruption. Make somewhere emphatically, without any apologies or fear. NDC slow, so back to the patum. Anti, part of a list from we nabra. From we now, there be Bakubi by will be a by. I cannot set up in George on that Nifahano. Sakwa where the EOCO boss. Mahama appointed EOCO. Why? Because
have you noticed a consistent attack on EOCO? Consistent attack on EOCO, on Raymond Archer. Consistent. I always started so EOCO as try to put it out there that Raymond Archer is some type of dubious guy. And you know, but he has not put out one single reason why he's saying that. But you see, he's been on Raymond Archer's case consistently. On EOCO's case, consistently. You heard earlier that say offer or more, say a crime, whatever, already. That is there. Now he's zeroing in on Raymond Archer and again on EOCO. Listen to what this guy is saying.
because oka oral Martin Pebu obese fugu abese tapinjo abetre TV3 abedwadanum or a part of oral and Saturday he was trying to defend because he's a lawyer. Martin, it is wrong. Master, your integrity is on the line. If you don't know,
What integrity are you talking about? Martin Kpebu is one of the most trusted lawyers in Ghana. He's out there in the public space. Everybody knows him. Martin Kpebu was part of Oral. He did his part. Martin Kpebu, should Martin Kpebu go to arrest somebody? What are you talking about? Martin Kpebu has finished his work. They have passed the work on to the agencies that have actual power to prosecute. Those agencies have sieved through the cases. They've seen that some of the cases were bogus. They've said the others are being prosecuted. What are you talking about?
I'm telling you, Martin Pebu, the energy and the alacrity you used to fight and talk, you have reduced it. What is stopping you, Martin? And I will say from
Emotional shooting from the hip journalism is what this guy is doing. Since we started, so can somebody please, and you are on social media portals. For those of you on iCulture TV, you may not be able to type. I apologize for that. But you always can reach the WhatsApp platform also. But type in the comment section for me. Let me see what sense this guy has said since I started playing this thing. If you have said anything of worth, please point it out to me. I'll read it. I swear, I promise. Before the show is over. If you've heard anything that he has said so far in this piece that I've played that makes any modicum of sense, type it. I will read it out and I'll eat humble pie. I promise. Let's go on.
Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, he forced his way through to become the foreign affairs minister. If you don't know, I'm telling you.
And that's his style. If you don't know, I'm telling you. Oh, I'm telling you this. Where does that come from? Where did this information come from? That Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa forced his way to become the foreign minister. Captain Smart, go and apologize to the president. You already called him something very undesirable. Now you're also insinuating that the president doesn't have his own mind to choose who he thinks is best fit to handle a sensitive a position as foreign minister? Foreign minister. Somebody of the pedigree of President Mahama, who has been president before, doesn't have his own mind. He sat down and kowtowed to pressure from Okudzeto Ablakwa. What kind of pressure self does Okudzeto Ablakwa have to exert on President Mahama? I don't know. But that's what you are suggesting. Go and apologize to the president, idiot. Go and apologize to the president. Let's go on.
Foreign affairs in Kwano. Why? Because our document say where the Sika Kotoha, where the Sika Uraha, where the Sika Frigana de Kwaha. After he became the foreign affairs minister, when was the last time you heard him talk about oral?
Because he's done his job as oral. When was the last time, Captain Smart, did you hear that oral sat? Oral has been dissolved. The committee has been dissolved because they finished their work. I already explained that to you. Oral was the portal to collect all the suspected cases, present it to the prosecuting agencies. Oral does not have any power to prosecute anybody. Martin Kpebu, Okudzeto Ablakwa, all these people, they don't have any power to arrest or prosecute nobody. You don't get it? And you are a journalist handling a morning show? Media general? For real? This is your prime time host. He doesn't know that Oral already wrapped up their business and forwarded the cases to the prosecuting agencies. He doesn't know that Oral doesn't have any power to prosecute. He doesn't know this. Of course, the numbers and the likes are more important. Of course, he has the numbers and the likes. So let's keep him there. It doesn't matter. I'm disgusted. Let's go on.
And this folks slow corruption fight. Double level. Saturday, he spelled and spilled his frustration. The Ayami one passer, Kofi Boache, DCOP Kofi Boache. Kofi Boache, we are part of Ora. And to work as are you a happy man? Says so, then director of operations at Jubilee House. Are you operating the Jubilee House? John, what the 1 year? But I want to tell you, me catch us about where they are fear the minimum we. You this system much a to where they are fit. And this is for slow. So
this is the same guy who told us say Nyankopon Fred no catch and say he this guy talking Sakwa we. I catch and say of all the 30 million and over Ghanaians, Nyankopon Fred or no, based on what I don't know, and asked him to choose our next leader, and he could have chosen Baumia if he wanted. That's the kind of person you are listening to. Let me say that so you put things in context. That's what he thinks about himself. He thinks what he thinks and how he feels is how the country should be governed. Because he feels that some people should be arrested now. It has to be done now. Screw you. That's not how it works. And I'm telling you one more time, if Mahama had approached that style, a lot of criminals would have gone through the net, because somebody like Oforiatta could easily have made a case that he would be a political target. Right now, how does Ken Oforiatta tell any decent judge that he is a political target? The person who is issuing red alerts on you left, right, center was appointed by your government. The current government that came hasn't arrested anybody that's out of the way or anything like that. So how do you make that case that you are a political target? Muhammad is thinking 3, 4, 5, 30 steps ahead of you, Captain Smart. Amambo, yenfa bravado, and yedibu mayo, yedinyansa, and yedibu mayo. TikTok, sorry, it's like I'm talking to the others too much. Every now and then I have to talk to you understand. Yes, greetings. I'm with you all the way. I'm with you all the way. And I think my side view is also handsome enough, don't you think? Just kidding. But hey, watch out. Yedi nyansa ne yedibu mai. Nyansa and yedibu mai. Not bravado. Not gidi. Na afe other criminals I was saying mono or master say hey and then they will look at the scene wherever they are and see say, oh, it's true, Ghana, they are catching these people. And somebody like Ken Oforiatta, if it wasn't this glaring chrono awabwa, and they could easily go and tell somebody has stolen money that we don't know. Right? So somebody like that can easily go and say, oh, see how they're catching all these other people. If I go, they'll catch me. And it's not common news. So he'll get protection and they will not go back. Jane. No wonder Akufo-Addo ended up where Akufo-Addo took us where he took us. Because people like you are the ones who were following him and telling him nonsense like what you were saying. Me sure say, can we be? And Akufo-Addo fairly, you know. Because you are the people who initially brought him to power. Oh, why you say you can't afford to force it. Or nyeshi, but yet chino. And you be na kapese Mahama Beye. Then the Attorney General will look as stupid as Gordon. What's that guy's name? I even forgot his name, so for good reason. Useless former Attorney General. What's his name? You wanted Ayine to look like that guy? Are you crazy? Think. Let's wrap it up. We're almost done.
Eti akwa we o space o teto ho yi sare mo na acha no na jo mama koja parliament aka chen say wajiji 600 million obo 600 million they should publish the document.
They should publish a document that they've collected 600 million. I mean, that I won't even respond to in the interest of accountability. Let's just say this is the first sensible thing he has said, even though it's not really sensible like that. Because if you listen to the explanation of what they meant by the 600 million, publish what? For what purpose would that serve? But let's say that you are calling for accountability. So we'll let that slide. Let's go on.
Yeah, man, we won't publish a document that says you are 600 million. Because Abraham, who catch him say when you're 500 million, Chesa, would you say if you ho? Would you say if you Abraham ho? Would you say if you Chuho? Would you say if you Captain ho? Would you say if you Smith ho? And now okay, come home. And now we have 600 million. They should publish it.
That's very warped logic. But we won't waste time on that. I'm sure all of my viewers and listeners already know how warped this particular logic is. So let's push it forward. I want to wrap up soon.
How did you get the money? Because the Sabaria Sika. Now, when I cast an OG Sika film on a Wujami, I just also a comfort. So it was John Mahama telling us, also a re. What kind of baby thinking is this? What kind of baby thinking is this? So you are 600 million. Was it true?
There's nothing worse than an idiot calling you an idiot. There's nothing worse than that. There's nothing worse than that. I'm somebody who, when somebody calls me those type of names, it doesn't really stick. Unless I realize, I call with yeah. And look at somebody saying, say, Muhammad is baby thinking. Based on what? You make the math yourself.
The court?
We don't care. We'll say the truth.
Attorney General negotiation. And I EOCO near Cromford Quatnasi. Yeah, you must away. By Antuntum. It would be the way we are Bibra. If this is what happened, then the entire administration, you are all thieves. Then you are all thieves. They remind you of where we are Tontom Toffee, Adaka Baako, Tontom. But we are in this country and glorifying what? Corruption? Oral lawyer. $600 million now, and that cities now, EOCO Ajijino. And then I'm publishing, name and shame. It is part of the fight against corruption.
I'm just going to make this quick note and then take note of that before we continue. You see how loud he talks. Sometimes when I'm somebody where, like, sometimes when I'm cooking and stuff like that, you know, I'll put on something on YouTube and I'll put it on the Bluetooth speaker and I'll be listening while I'm like cooking or I'm doing something else and what. And my wife can't stand the noise. To me, it's normal. First of all, because a lot of people talk like that in Ghana, so it's okay. But come to think of it though, as a morning show host, why are you even speaking at that decibel? Why? And this is standard though. This is standard. I believe you have some of the best microphones in the business. I believe so. I believe you have some of the best studios in the business because Kwame Nkrumah studio and you have some of the best acoustics. No question about that. Why do you find it necessary to yell like that? And it's part of his style. And to come because at that tone, no, or because will be your argument. As will be on any argument, I person can't something reasonable, children on the wide and say, nah, on the loudest is best. What is that? What is that? This is morning show. This is morning show.
Yeah, Jessica, it's a lie. Oral Akosi.
Mami ncho baby oral Akosi. Oral Akosi say omo agi cases bebre ena omo akeka bom ena omo de akwa attorney general. And attorney general is CV through and we who they are credible. I you be for the prima facie. I no omo de akwa prosecute those cases. Ebi so ho no ma omo hu say we ensuo nim enti no odi nipa ne court kra na obekwa akodi nkugo. And I say, na just bogus, period. Into more than we chain. Does that answer it for you, Captain Smart? Somebody please send him this response. Because I don't think he's watching right now. He doesn't like to watch me. I promise you, I know what I'm talking about. Let's go on.
On them. But I want to I did the political actors now more Auditor General's report. Yet your member Kwabrani to be a Public Accounts Committee. Now at home, Toyota Hilux pick up 1,000 Ghana cedis. What Toyota Hilux back 1,000 Ghana. But so be kofaka fi Togo bana when trade to the anamani abre.
Fair call. So talk about corruption, which is something that we all don't like and something that's being, fought. But how do you connect that to everything else that we're talking about? How do you make that connection? And it's very illiterate, very unlearned, very pedestrian to equate Abu Treka and his case to Oforiate's case. It's the basest of reasonings, Captain Smart. It's an insult to those who listen to you to compare Abu Treka and Ken Oforiate's cases. Unless you think that the system is such that you can bulldoze through it and do whatever you want. It doesn't work like that. Oforiata is in America. America has rigid legal systems. I know what I'm talking about. Rigid systems. To the point where somebody can do something glaringly, you see that he's done the thing, but you have to pass him through a process to prove that he's done it, which takes time. Mutigana na moke cancer then and taking years and then I didn't quite Massa. I work in the court sometimes. I know what I'm talking about. There are cases that when the judge sits on it and then they consider certain things, they can postpone the case for the next 6 months. It could be on something as simple as the person asking for some time to get some papers together. The court can say, okay, all right, you need this time. All right, go ahead, go get your things together. So it's not as simple as Oforiata is there. And so if you want Abu Treka, bring Oforiata first. What are you talking about? As a morning show host, you should not be saying this because it's very, very, very illiterate. You should be responsible for explaining the situation to the people, so that people see the actual situation on the ground. Because Ken Oforiata, in the best of days, Omba easily, he's going to come kicking and screaming and scratching and clutching. So it's going to take effort to bring him. And you think that's going to happen in a day or two? Based on what? Learn. You like reading things that you can quote. Learn things that you can understand, Captain Smart. Sometimes when I hear you quote all these big, fabulous books, and then you quote from them, do you even know what you're quoting? Read stuff that you can understand and apply. Because those things you are quoting, somebody said them and you are quoting them. I pray to the Almighty God that someday somebody will quote what I'm saying. Learn. That's not how systems work. Abu Treka is somebody who's wanted for car romance scam, car fraud, whatever thing they were saying. That guy has been followed by the FBI for, you know how many years they followed him for before they put in to come and arrest him? And how long has it been since we put in to even arrest Ken Oforiata? Learn. Let's wrap it up.
Damn. Are you guys crazy? What is wrong with you?
No, you are crazier than anybody you're asking if they're crazy.
This is not why I vote. I campaign for John Mahama. This is rubbish. It doesn't make sense anywhere. There are innocent pregnant women who are dying on the street every day.
What has that got
innocent
to do with
retirees
in China
who cannot have access to hospital beds?
What has that got to do with the price
like
of
unwanted cockroaches? And we sit in this country. People have squandered several millions and billions of Ghana cedis. Now the finance ministry had the guts to publish whatever, page 1, page 3, page 10. Then.
Maybe you can call me a prophet. And I think my white beard would do very well for that. You see how they look like the prophets of old and things like that. You know what I see? But you can, listen, I said this. I said that people are going to be angrier at John Mahama for not prosecuting Akufo-Addo's appointees than they actually are at Akufo-Addo for appointing those thieves. I said this. 2023, 2024, thereabouts. I said it. When John Mahama comes to power, people would expect him to do all these things. But that anger that they're going to show if he doesn't do it, it's not going to be, I mean, it's going to be more than the anger that they are showing to the person who is creating that mess that they are complaining about. How much anger did you see people showing Akufo-Addo for the theft and the rot? We had some people who stood up, and of course, and Captain Smart was one of them. Let's face it. Give the credit where it's due. He definitely was one of the people who helped to expose the rot. No question about that. But the anger that is coming on John Mahama, because he's not dealing with that, it's not commensurate with the anger that you people exerted on Akufo-Addo when he was creating that mess that you are complaining about. That's not fair.
Yeah. About how much has been squandered. But you guys are sitting there unconcerned. You don't care. You are crazy. You are all thieves. What is wrong with you guys? It is a Ghana, yeni America womra, mafia, and the shimmy say, yeni America was share Abraham. Says America ni bedi bone waha. Ye here Interpol, Ghana for Muntian ye. We don't need Interpol. We don't need that rubbish institution, which is internationally orchestrated and set up to protect certain high-ranked personalities of certain countries. Interpol, forget about it. If you can't forget about it, I can't say, do you get it? If you don't get it, forget about it. Interpol, forget it. And she said, "I America wanted to say, yeah, here Interpol, and I'm kind of Interpol, no, yeah, here."
Asemo Kanye, I swear, somebody tell me if they understand what it means. That's what I'm talking about. Or stringing words together, not kasa at decibel plus 12 and over. Tell me what sense that makes. Ghana, if America could be here Interpol, what does that even mean? What does that mean? What does that mean?
It is just a letter from Yenya Bainse. Abrante we based on Nshishaya and number one. Or your former finance minister, what did born into fire the Ebre? Yeah,
stupid. It doesn't work like that. Stop polluting the people. Stop teaching nonsense to the people. Media General, do something about this. Send this guy somewhere to go do a course or something. Send him to GIJ. Send him to somewhere. Fly him abroad if you must. Send him to school to learn journalism 101. And while he's at it, if someone can give him some few basic lessons in legal operations, that will help. Because it's not how it works. That's not how it works, Captain Smart.
Stupid institution, we call it our office of the bogus nonsense rubbish, office of the whatever.
He's very upset with Raymond Archer. Akrawi. Hey, Duwahi. Sikase na Dima Akrawi. How much money did you give Captain Smart and Duwahi? Yeah, Baho.
Hey, prosecutor, special prosecutor, rubbish. And then Mahama saw baby and I can't say, I will not scrap it, I will not do it. Because they are all together. They're still together.
That's what I'm talking about. He practically called the president a thief. How fucking dare you, Captain Smart? I'll light you up to rat, kid. How dare you? He make I even knock out the... Yo, listen, TikTok, forgive. Yeah, I understand. Let me straighten it up again. I'm very upset. This guy, and I don't want to go into his past. It's not necessary. Because I don't think that any human being is perfect. So I don't hold things against people. Whatever he's done in the past, we'll let that fly. But how dare this guy even open his mouth to try to call President John Dramani Mahama a thief? How dare you? Don't start this nonsense. Don't start this nonsense. This president is a rare gift from God. And I personally, I'm shocked at myself that I'm sitting here praising somebody. But I've followed John Mahama for a while. I've watched him. right? I know the kind of person he is. And if we cannot find somebody of his pedigree to help us reset our country, but we go around saying, oh, they're all thieves, what are we doing to ourselves? John Mahama was investigated. Did they find anything on him? No. And we are happy and lucky enough to have somebody that we all can trust like that. So if you think he's a thief, prove it to us. But don't go sit somewhere and start shouting about they're all thieves with Muhammad's name in the line. You are an idiot. You are an idiot. You are an idiot. And I'm not doing this because of John Mahama. I'm doing this because of Ghana. You know why? Like I just said, we need somebody that we can all trust, that is a just arrowhead to lead us to where we want to be. In the past, we've had some very not so great leaders. Now, we seem to have one in the person of John Mahama who is heading us somewhere. So to sit somewhere and start muddying the waters based on nothing, we wouldn't let that happen. We will not let that happen, Captain Smart. You're an idiot. And we will not let idiots own the narrative. We won't do that. For a very long time, we sat down and watched people own the narrative and just go like, oh, whatever, and just say whatever, and we let it slide. And we sat down and folded our arms and like, okay. No, sir. Your nonsense will have an impact on me and my generations coming after. The nonsense you are spewing would direct the future of Ghana. Because of bullshit like this, it's why we got somebody like Akufo-Addo to come and reverse the country's progress for 8 years. So we're not going to sit down and have you do this nonsense again. How dare you call John Mahama a thief? How dare you? I'll do a special edition on that one alone to just cuss you out for doing this one. But I want to wrap up. So you let me just finish this one, then we'll go. How dare you?
All thieves! Now, that's bogus, useless institution. I can tell you where issue Interpol alert. Say, I'm going to for that. Wow! I know, said that fact, what you crying. I could file a case our court. When you file a case or court, Interpol's hands are tied at the back. They become functionless. Russia and Ibeka said they become moreless. They can't do anything. And to the Chroma Sani, catch us, can a foreign assassin at anybody, and none the Aquasuntino, then I see, yes, say, you remove red alert, no, if you can for so.
And did John Mahama do that?
The next thing to do. That was I know my catch and say, hey, I got said the EOCO, say no, Ghana, Attorney General, say Mafia, or Bob, a lawyer, Fuano, I'm a buy a chaplain ticket, at the amount free Ghana, at the Aqua America, Aqua Codicano for the Atasamoho, and Attorney General catch and say, a more dio. Dominica, see, a more dio, but they will do their best. I didn't say, Table for your Canofriata, I hired the best lawyers in America.
Please, everybody judge Captain Smart's level of intellect with what he's about to say. So far, I spewed a lot of nonsense, but I'm inviting everybody to study his logic, okay? Study the logic this guy operates with. Listen to what he's going to say.
That what to come and get a new lawyer, Attorney General, so your best lawyer. What's Rob Bruni lawyer? And I mean what? Some catch now say Captain Smart. Minim kaka. But baby, I am going to meet the best drivers. What it means is that I thought Sabi a best.
You are a fool. That's not what he even said. And that's what they do. Sadam way the coca said John Mahama Kese or you join fun whatever, because they take the matter and then they kind of slightly skew it. And then that becomes the narrative and people run with that instead. Where did this guy say Osro Bruni lawyer? He expressly said, and I'm talking about Attorney General Aine, he expressly said he's not afraid of that opposition. But all he was doing was telling Ghanaians, say, Kenoforata has hired some of the best lawyers in America. But he followed that immediately by saying that, but I am not afraid of them. He said that. But you see what he's doing, sitting here saying, Oh, so me kese me a driver. Now me a best driver. Now me kese me ko baby. Now me could do as a best driver. Where did Ayine say that there's the best driver in America, and so therefore that's a stupidity. And disingenuousness, because that's not what the Attorney General said at all.
Best driver, send that driver for Papa. It is Attorney General catch and say, we hire the best lawyers in America. And just on one so crap, my say it will be difficult. I didn't move anything. Let's just say Attorney General on your best lawyer.
I think for now, Attorney General catch and say, "Oh, your best lawyer." And how do you even define a best lawyer? Let's face it. Ghana says Captain Smart, catch me one of the best lawyer of Ghana. America has say, catch me one of the best lawyer has say. If you are saying one of the best lawyer, what parameters do you even use to figure out who is the best lawyer? And where did the Attorney General tell you say, "Oh, your best lawyer"? This is foolishness to the highest pedigree. This is illiteracy.
Akwaweni Remonata Kasapeno Mamboko Bredu Boahidia, a combat one more
and here comes the main one. And before we go to the main one, let's read something off of social media. Let's read something off social media quickly, because I think Ghanaians get it. Ronnie Thompson. Greetings, Ronnie, my brother. Thank you very much for tuning in. All right. Let's read here some more from time to time. Thank you. And TikTok, you do same. Thank you very much. So Ronnie Thompson says, Captain Smart is doing damage control. Oh, that's his style. Smear the AG with dirty. Some his corrupt paymasters will be left off the hook. He's defending Wuntumi, Edubuahin, and all the corrupt appointees being prosecuted. That's from Ronnie. Okay. Ronnie, that ties in, I agree with you to a large extent. To a very large extent. And the next piece that I'm going to play will demonstrate why you and I, Ronnie, agree on this one. Hear what he's going to say. Listen closely.
Are you guys crazy? You are prosecuting an innocent Kwabena Edubuahin. He's done nothing.
You see this guy, morning host, onye lawyer, onye judge, onye prosecutor. Based on what are you declaring Edubuahin innocent? After the Attorney General has put his case before a court of competent jurisdiction, and the matter is still in court, yet to be adjudicated. But this guy has to fulfill his paymaster's will. This is what I was talking about. And this shows that we are wrapping up, because I'm going to drop it. We have already heard from the Attorney General that there are people who are paying journalists and bloggers to muddy the waters. The loudest of the platform that we see doing this is Captain Smart and his show. By that logic, I declare that Captain Smart has been paid by Edubuahin and the others to do a cleanup job for them. And Captain Smart, by the same logic by which you invited Raymond Archer to your show to come and respond, if I'm lying, come and respond. Let's wrap it up. This guy is full of it.
And I still stand by that. Kwabena Edubuahin committed no crime. And I challenge the Attorney General and EOCO boss, come and sit here. Bring your documents, I'll bring my document.
Then what's with Jimmy? What's with Jimmy? No, Ababa change Musa, so they make like read them for this Captain Smart. No, I endorsement, I'm some product. No, I advert in the what you say? What's your say? And October you. Attorney General, any EOCO, and for omo documents are a court now. Judge etiswa or ye hu edwuma no. On for met na we show ne so and be prove say or ye innocent. Na sam kwasi asem we your mind ben so ne ka no. Attorney General, any EOCO, put your case together. Case is already before a judge who is competent to judge whether or not Edubuahin is guilty. Yen judge no. May yen fan na anasem. Yen fa sa case the embra wo Captain Smart wo. Embe tena will show ni so embe prove say Edubuahin guilty. Sa emkwasi asem way. On my bench so ene no. Where they do that? Where they do that? Where? Ronnie, I'm with you. I'm with you, Ronnie. Let me read another one from you. Thank you for following. Ronnie says, just last 2 weeks, he went after Raymond Archer and Black Rasta took him on and exposed him badly. All he spew is concocted lies. I think so too. I think I am with you on that as well. I don't get his motive for all the nonsense that he does. Let's go on.
Oh, my musika campaign. It is all your crofwa and your chronosika na campaign.
Okay. By this fool's logic, if this guy stole money and gave it to them to do campaign, Nase at that time no moon nim said ye chrono no wakuria. Nase so mabe who saw chrono no wakuria. Omun jaino because of mamuska ye campaign. You are an idiot. I swear you don't deserve that mic. I swear there are better people than you, Captain Smart. And I'm not saying this to say that you don't know. I'm saying this because you know, but you choose to be devious. You don't deserve the microphone that you operate. You are not there to help Ghana. You are the same person who said, say, Shatawale, whatever, his people should come out and make noise because NDC, he campaigned for NDC. So even if he had stolen SEFA, they should have looked the other way. That's how you want to govern Ghana. Say, amount any chance, say advice, say, I'm paying for. This is the kind of advice you'll be giving them. You are an idiot.
Look, I am fighting for a country. I am saving my tongue. No, I am not here to protect.
You know what, Charlie? Let's leave this guy. I think we've said everything that he has to say. I was just waiting for the part where he'll come with the Dubois stuff, just so I prove to you that this guy is being powered by his paymasters. He's been heavily powered by his paymasters because I don't know why somebody will come and first of all try to make the Attorney General look bad, try to make EOCO look bad, and then come and tell us that Edubuahin, who these two agencies are prosecuting, is innocent and he can prove it. He's obviously been talking to Edubuahin then. Simple logic. Now he goes forward to say that the case which is already in court, no, they should leave that and come and prove to him. Said the guy is guilty. This guy, bro, listen. Captain Smart, you think too highly of yourself. Okay, come off your high horses. I think I've called you an idiot too many times already for today. And yes, because you are an idiot. Every time for the past couple, how long now, every time you say something, I come at you, but I try to be, give you a little room to straighten up and things. But I notice, you are not interested in straightening up. You're just interested in being devious. And this guy will dare come and tell us, or a Kwame Nkrumah reincarnate. How dare you? Kwame Nkrumah. Say that now Kwame Nkrumah. Ekebenya Ghana. Shiakai. Whatever. Say bia ene Kwame Nkrumah bia no twabe ewo hemfa dia ye no be ya adwene ewo ye sa Kwame Nkrumah no na say ye kan yanka say Kwame Nkrumah ye oje Ghana si ho man ye dia brother, you are nothing close to Kwame Nkrumah. If you were, you wouldn't have followed Akufo-Addo for all that years before you wake up from your slumber only like 3 or 4 years ago and realize that you are Kwame Nkrumah. Such nonsense. This guy, bro, what has he been puffing on? I don't know, man. Anyhow, it's time to bounce. Thank you very much for checking in today. TikTok, respect, salute. I'm sorry, the systems, I said that I couldn't read any messages off of TikTok, but I'm with you all the way, yeah? Thank you very much. Every time, let's make this happen more. Let's awaken the people. Let's own the narrative. YouTube, Facebook, everywhere. Let's own the narrative. Let's not let idiots control the narrative. Let's not let people with parochial interests control the narrative. Let's not make people who have something to gain for themselves only and not for the country control the narrative. And I'm telling you once more, I'm doing this because I believe in John Mahama as a leader. And I believe that he's following steps to do what he has to do. He said in his State of the Nation address, he said it, right? He said yes. And that's what you don't understand, Captain Smart. He said the wheels of justice grind slowly. But apart from that, he also said, let's not set a precedent that is going to come back to bite us in the bum in the future. You are telling him that he should go around and catch people based on what? And then 4 years, 8 years, 32 years, 40 years down the line, when his government changes, somebody else to come and say, oh, we are going to just catch people by heart. Based on what? So let's follow something that we all agree to. This is the set law of the land. We use that to prosecute the people who we think are guilty. And then those that are not guilty, they will go home. Isn't that what the situation is supposed to be? Otherwise, Captain Smart, me to go oral and go talk, say, me to I think say you thief money, so they for just come catch you without looking into anything. How about that? Kind of here with your nonsense. One love, people. My name is Kwesi Baako, and this has been the editorial. I come in peace. I come not to please. Thank you for doing the watching. And please join me on the weekend live stream this Sunday. Every Sunday, we are live on the same portal on iCulture TV, www.gnewsnow.com. We also will be live on all our social media portals. Before we go, let me read a couple more social media. Okay, let me read. I can't finish all of that. I can't read everything. Let me just read a couple more and then we'll go. All right, so it says, we will be here when his paymasters get jailed and the same person will rant that they didn't give them fair hearing. And the judgment is a kangaroo judgment. Exactly. You know, exactly. You see, this is what I think sometimes that they want to do. They want to force Muhammad's hand to do something irrational, and then they themselves will fall back and say, oh no, you breach this, you breach that. I think that's what this guy is doing. He's trying to do something to frustrate the Attorney General to make a wrong move, and then they themselves will come back and say, oh, what, that's what. I agree with you. I think so too. All right. He said he's attacking Raymond Archer because of his famous. I think we've read that, right? What else? What else? He's here saying Demelevo is disappointed in the government. Last Sunday, I watched the program. He's spewing he's spewing the lies. Said he. Wait. Let me read this properly. I think this is important. Okay, so he says he's here saying Demelevo is disappointed in the government. Last Saturday, I watched the program. He's spewing lies. Demelevo said he's spewing lies. Domelevo said he appreciates the progress of oral, but there's more room for improvement. And he added that he won't blame the government of the day because the AG is working, but there's more room for improvement. But the legal system is not helping the process because of systematic challenges. I think Captain Smart knows this though, my brother. I think he knows that. He's just being disingenuous. Don't mind this guy. Let's go. My name is Kwesi Baako. One more time. I come in peace. I come not to please. I'll see you next time. One love.
Culture TV, Africa from an African perspective.